Hi, it's Richard Hooke, conspiracy theorist here, and I just had a couple items I wanted to share with you real quick. For one, I was down at the store today, and I picked up this magazine by Time Life for June of 2018. It's very interesting. As you can see, they are still casting Lee Oswald, an assassin, in 2018. Here we have Oswald. Here we have Oswald, James Earl Ray, Sirhan, and Mark David Chapman, all on the cover together. Okay, I mean it's the exact same deal as Life magazine did in 1964 when they had Oswald on their issue with the backyard photo. So they're doing it in 2018. Okay, I mean basically now we know from our research, and I know from my own research, that these guys on this side over here, Lee Oswald, he didn't even fire any weapon on November 22nd, 1963. He didn't fire at John Kennedy. He was down on the first floor. He wasn't in the nest. And at J.D. Tippit, he wasn't at 10th and Patton. He was in the movie theater. So Oswald didn't fire. At James Earl Ray, we know he was just a patsy also. He never fired also. He wasn't even there. He was like a block away. And another guy actually fired the weapon, and it's all in this book by William Pepper, Esquire, which I highly recommend, The Plot to Kill King. It's available on Amazon.com. And he tells how Frank Strausser, ex-FBI Memphis Police, is the guy who actually pulled the trigger on Martin Luther King. It was not James Earl Ray. And the truth is in this book here by William Pepper. So we have the two patsies on this side, Oswald and James Earl Ray, who didn't fire the weapon. Then on the other side here, we have Mark David Chapman and Sirhan. They tell us Chapman killed John Lennon and Sirhan Bobby Kennedy. These two, they may or may not have pulled the trigger once, but the killings were done by other CIA assassins who were there. The Dorman, Padermo was there when Chapman was there, and he was a friend of Frank Sturgis of the CIA. So there's no question he killed Lennon, and they told Chapman, who was brainwashed and prepped, they told him he had done it, and said, well, look what you've done. Okay, and then the same deal with Sirhan. He was heavily brainwashed. He may or may not have fired the weapon, but there were shots all over the pantry when Bobby Kennedy was killed. And the security guard there on the behind Bobby is the one that actually, it was a CIA guy who was planted behind Bobby Kennedy. He's the one that actually did the killing. So we have two brainwashed patsies here, two other patsies over here who never fired the weapon at all. It's been proven. They did this in 2018. It's very interesting. As a matter of fact, and then one other thing that's interesting, there's a lot of good things in this magazine. I'm going to be reading it for quite a while. But following that, then we have John Wilkes Booth here, and they go over the Lincoln assassination, and they cast him also as a deranged killer too. But of course, now we know that wasn't true. It's the Civil War. Was another put-up war by the financial Rothschild elite, North against South. And actually, what we had here is it was the North was going to be a British colony annexed to Canada under the control of Lionel Rothschild. And the South was to be a French colony given to Napoleon III of France under the control of James Rothschild. So what Lincoln did is he upset all that. He opposed the destruction of America. He issued greenbacks to fund the defense against the international banksters. That's what Lincoln did. So he wasn't for paying interest on our money. He issued his own money, and sure enough, after the war ended, 5 days later, they killed him. And the story is that they put John Wilkes Booth up to it. The Rothschilds did. He was a member of the Knights of the Golden Circle, and he was sent there to do the job to kill Lincoln. And then they got him out of there. Actually, the bottom line is the guy that they said that the Army shot and burned up in a shack, the corpse that was pulled out had red hair. So how could that be John Wilkes Booth? So he he escaped down by the river, and he lived the rest of his days in England and in South Africa. So John Wilkes Booth is another patsy, did the bidding of the financial elite, killed Lincoln because Lincoln was going to issued our own money and was going to continue it, just like President Kennedy was going to do, get rid of the Federal Reserve so we wouldn't have to pay interest on our money. President Kennedy had it all printed up and ready to go, and you'd be darn sure that's why he was taken out on November 22nd, 1963. Thank you. Bye.